Welcome, passionate Steelers fans. Today, we have exclusive news that you cannot miss. The NFL has suspended our Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback, Cam Sutton, for 8 weeks due to a domestic violence arrest. Cam Sutton, who recently joined the Steelers on a 1-year contract on June 5th, was arrested for domestic assault earlier this offseason. This incident has had a significant impact on the Steelers community and the league itself. Initially charged with a felony, the charge was later reduced to a misdemeanor. Sutton accepted responsibility by entering a pretrial diversion program, which means he acknowledged his actions and agreed to fulfill certain conditions to avoid a formal trial. The NFL, as part of its personal conduct policy, conducted its own independent investigation and confirmed that Sutton violated the league's policy related to domestic violence. The incident occurred on March 7th in Lutz, Florida, where Sutton was accused of assaulting a woman at a residence. Following the incident, Sutton was sought by the police for 3 weeks before being arrested. During this time, uncertainty about his legal situation and future in the NFL grew significantly. Finally, on March 21st, the Detroit Lions decided to release him from his contract, which he had signed just a year earlier for a value of 3 years and $33 million. This was a significant move, considering Sutton had been a key piece in the Lions' defense last season. The 8-week suspension imposed by the NFL will be without pay, meaning Sutton will not receive any compensation during this period. Additionally, this suspension will not affect the Steelers' salary cap or their 53-man roster, allowing the team to maintain flexibility in their roster moves. Although Sutton has the right to appeal the suspension, it is not expected that he will, suggesting that he and his legal team consider serving the suspension the best option at this time. It is important to note that 6 weeks is the minimum established by the NFL for domestic violence cases, so an 8-week suspension reflects the severity of the incident according to the league standards. Despite this suspension, Sutton will have the opportunity to participate in training camp and preseason games with the Steelers before starting his punishment. His suspension will end on October 29th, right after the Week 8 game against the New York Giants. This means that, if all goes according to plan, Sutton could debut this season with the Steelers in Week 10 on November 10th in an important away game against the Washington Commanders. With Sutton out for half the season, the Steelers will face the challenge of finding someone to fill his slot cornerback position during training camp. The main internal candidates to fill this vacancy include Josiah Scott, a veteran former player of the Philadelphia Eagles, Thomas Graham Jr., who has played for the Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Browns, and the undrafted rookie free agent Beanie Bishop from West Virginia University. The competition will be intense as each of these players seeks to impress the coaches and secure a spot in the starting lineup. Cam Sutton, 29, has a long history with the Steelers. He was selected by the team in the 3rd round of the 2017 NFL Draft from the University of Tennessee. During his 6 seasons with the Steelers, Sutton evolved from a dime cornerback to a reliable starter on the outside defense. His ability to read the game and his versatility on the field made him a valuable player for Pittsburgh. In 2023, he decided to leave the team and sign a lucrative contract with the Detroit Lions, where he started all 17 games last season. During that season, Sutton recorded 65 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 6 passes defended, 1 forced fumble, and 1 interception, demonstrating his ability to contribute significantly to the defense. It is noteworthy that the Steelers did not retain any of their slot cornerbacks from the 2023 season, Shandon Sullivan and Patrick Peterson, who are still available in the free agent market. This adds an additional layer of complexity to the situation, as the team will need to evaluate all its options to ensure that their secondary defense remains strong and competitive. Joe Burrow criticizes Acrisure Stadium surface. What's all this sand? Joe Burrow, the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, has expressed his criticism of the playing surface at Acrisure Stadium, home of the Pittsburgh Steelers. In a recent appearance on the show Pardon My Take, Burrow did not hesitate to share his displeasure with the sand-filled turf at the stadium. Recalling a significant injury he suffered in 2020 at the stadium of the Washington Commanders, Burrow highlighted how the sand used to maintain the turf in Pittsburgh is similar to that in Washington, and he mentioned that this practice seemed unusual and concerning to him. "Sometimes it feels like they sprinkle cat litter on the grass," Burrow commented. "When we played in Pittsburgh after a Pitt College game, we found the field full of sand. I hope it's not cat litter," he added jokingly. Despite Burrow's criticisms, the playing surface of the Steelers has historically been one of the least injury-prone in the NFL. A study conducted by sports statisticians at Carnegie Mellon University showed that, between 2012 and 2016, Pittsburgh Stadium had one of the lowest rates of anterior cruciate ligament (ACL) injuries. This contrasts with the negative perception Burrow has of the stadium. Nevertheless, NFL players' preference for playing on natural grass is clear. A recent NFLPA survey revealed that 92% of players prefer natural grass over artificial turf, citing lower injury rates and better quality of play. While some players may not share Burrow's opinion about Acrisure Stadium, the stadium's turf remains a topic of debate among NFL players and teams. Despite the criticism, Acrisure Stadium was voted the sixth favorite stadium by players in a 2023 survey by The Athletic, showing that the perception of the field can vary significantly among players. For Steelers fans, the stadium's surface will continue to be an interesting point of conversation as the team continues its season. Today, we have news that could change the landscape of the NFL and might indirectly affect our team. We are talking about Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Skyy Moore, who could be a candidate for a trade. Let's break down all the information and its implications, so stay with us until the end. Skyy Moore was selected by the Kansas City Chiefs in the second round of the 2022 draft with high expectations. The Chiefs hoped he would become one of the favorite weapons for the talented Patrick Mahomes. However, in his first two seasons, Moore has not managed to shine as expected. Despite being a two-time Super Bowl champion, his numbers have not been impressive. He has only accumulated 43 receptions for 494 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, entering his third season, the Chiefs have added Marquise Brown and Xavier Worthy to their roster, which could push Moore further down in the team's receiver hierarchy. Pro Football Network has identified Moore as a potential trade candidate this offseason. According to PFN, Moore was drafted to be an explosive weapon in Kansas City's offense, but he has struggled to find a consistent role. It's likely another NFL team still believes Moore has potential, and a change of scenery could benefit him. To put this in perspective, parting with a second-round talent after just 2 seasons might seem like a hasty decision. Moore's salary impact for 2024 is approximately $1,759,229, and for 2025 $2,052,434, which is quite low. Keeping Moore on the team remains a cost-effective option for the Chiefs, especially if he manages to improve his performance this season. On the field, Skyy Moore has shown flashes of his potential. On November 26, 2023, in a game against the Las Vegas Raiders, Moore carried the ball with determination, although his impact on the scoreboard was not significant. Similarly, on November 5, 2023, in an NFL International Series game in Frankfurt, Germany, Moore displayed his pass-catching ability, but again, his contribution was not consistent enough. So, should the Chiefs consider trading Skyy Moore? With Moore lower on the team's depth chart, his opportunities might arise on special teams, where he could prove his worth. If the Chiefs can give him more opportunities with the ball in 2024 and Moore shows his true potential, his market value could increase significantly for next season. Thank you for joining us for this exclusive update. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any news about the Steelers and the NFL. See you next time, and as always, go Steelers!